Okay, so here is what we are going to do. This is part of a special assignment that we are doing. 9 days she's going on a digital diet. We know how hard this is for many of you who are here in our audience.
Alright guys, so one of the very first things I noticed about not having a phone is that I have zero sense of what time it is. So I went digging through some of my drawers at home and I found 3 watches. The problem is none of them have battery. They seem to have died on me. So I looked up the closest jewelry shop to repair or maybe get a new battery. It's showing me this one, so I'm going to go ahead and print that out. Get the directions since I can't use the GPS because I usually use the GPS on my phone. So that should be sending that to the printer. All right, got our map, let's go. See, that wasn't that bad. We made it. Now let's get inside because it's starting to pour. I'm actually here because I'm going 9 days without my cell phone. Okay. And in doing so, I have lost track of, I am alive, but I've lost track of time.
For the last, I think, centuries, people, they've been obsessed with time.
3 o'clock.
See, he just checked his phone to check the time.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we've been able to work with the different clocks and watches and pocket watches, and they have changed, they have evolved. From the beginning, they used to be mechanical, nowadays they're quartz.
Now this is 9 days, that's why I brought 3 different types of watches, because my outfit's gonna change in those 9 days.
Okay. You have to have a steady hand to work on those minimal parts, because they're very tiny parts. You have to kind of go to school and start with the watches that are not as complicated as the most expensive ones. Like you don't want to touch a Rolex watch unless you're certified or unless you know what you're doing. It's a dying breed. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, it's very hard to find people that wants to work with clock and watches.
And Estefania, your phone actually has its own Twitter account, and it actually was at the Alamo yesterday over the weekend, right?
It does. It's been traveling more than I have without me, so I'm glad at least one of us is having a good time. Hey guys, so I'm whispering because I'm inside of a library right now. I'm trying to find the answers to a couple of questions that came up in typical conversations that I had in the newsroom throughout the week. The thing is, I'd usually be able to look up those answers quickly on my smartphone, but today I'm going to try and see how long it takes me to find them the old-fashioned way. All right, so it's been a while since I've been at a library, so I had to get some special help from, this is Margaret Neal, and she's gonna help me out to look up some of these questions or help me find the books that would help me answer these questions. Gustavo asking, what was the original name of the Beatles? Our photographer is Miguel. For some reason, really wants to know what the longitude and latitude of El Paso is. That was a good question, Miguel. Andy Morgan needs to know, how long do you have to hard-boil eggs for? Let's go find those books. What was the original name of the Beatles? That's just like a common question that if I ask someone, they would be able to answer. That is it. The Beatles, the Complete Idiot's Guide. I apparently need this one because I could not find the answer in that one. The Quarrymen. There we go. I hope that's the answer. Is that the answer, right? It sounds like it.
The Complete Idiot's Guide, yes.
There you go, Gustavo. This one looks like a good one. It has an egg on the cover. 7, 9 with 9 and maybe 11 minutes. I think 11 is the winner there. So there you go, Andy. You need to hard boil your eggs for 11 minutes. Okay, so far so good. We had a couple tricky questions, but I think Miguel's definitely takes the cake. Miguel, that's a tough question. I've already been here for a little more than an hour. We need backup for your question, Miguel. Yes.
I found it. Ready reference.
It was in the Ready reference.
Miguel, listen up. It took 2 librarians and a couple of minutes and a couple looking through a couple of shelves and books, but here it is, Miguel. Latitude, longitude of El Paso, right there. All right, so a lot of you have been asking me how I make phone calls outside of work where I actually have a landline. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get this phone book where I've gone around and I've asked everyone in this newsroom for their number, and I'm gonna go looking for a payphone. I'm gonna see how many of the payphones I find actually work, and every time I find one that does work, I'm gonna call someone in this newsroom. So let's go figure it out. All right, so we're gonna head out and start looking for a payphone. Here's my photographer, Matt. He's also gonna keep a lookout to see if he finds a phone. So we're gonna have 4 eyes on the road. Here we go.
So I think I know of one that we could check to see if it works. It's right across the library.
Okay, next stop, the library. Okay, I don't know how to work a payphone. Do I just start dialing the number? Just got my coin back because this doesn't work. Gonna have to go try another payphone. It was too good to be true.
There's a payphone right there.
There is?
Yeah.
All right, so we finally found a parking spot, and because change is very precious, because I'm still looking for that payphone, I'm gonna use a card to pay for parking. Approved. Let's go find that payphone. Oh my God. Doesn't even have a ring. Can't hear anything. Third time's a charm, guys. Third time's a charm. There's another payphone over here. Okay, there's a ring. I didn't get my coin back. Gonna call our assignment editor in the newsroom, let her know where we're at, because we've been gone for a while. What just happened? Are you supposed to put the coin in before you dial, or you dial and then put the coin? Please deposit 25 cents. Third time's a charm, guys, told you. Yvonne, answer. If she doesn't answer, she sent me to voicemail. Did it give me my coin back? No, I just deposited it. Hope they answer, because that was my last bit of change. Hi, newsroom. This is Stephanie Safer calling from a payphone. Okay, they know where I'm at. We're good. We did it. Every Tuesday or Thursday morning, the public can come out to the 82nd Airborne Division, have coffee with some of the veterans, and talk to them about their stories. I thought I'd pay them a visit and hear what they had to say, being as most of them lived most of their life without a cell phone. Let's go see what they think of my little experiment.
Our family did not have a phone even, but I would visit my grandparents, and my grandparents lived in the country, and they had a phone, but it was a party line phone.
Forget those 7-digit numbers. We're talking about a time when you only had to memorize 3 numbers to talk on the phone, when multiple homes shared the same line and you were greeted by an operator before placing your call.
My grandmother would tell, I want to talk to so-and-so, so she would ring them. And other people on the party line pick up the phone too to see what was going on.
But not everyone could afford a telephone at home, and much less the first types of cell phones, walkie-talkies.
I don't remember having a telephone until I was actually a teenager in our family. And then of course I went into the military. In the military, our main communications was radios.
So bail her out by radio and parrot.
And let's not forget about one of the most popular means of communication, one that, although rare, is still making its rounds today.
Letters was our main means of communication, and in World War II, your letters were all censored.
Letters, party lines, walkie-talkies. Chisholm says he's been pretty good about keeping up with the 411 and knowing when to disconnect from his phone.
How do you think I'm going to be able to go about 9 days without a cell phone?
Ooh, I imagine that would be pretty much up to the individual. That there are probably some individuals that probably lose their mind if they didn't have a cell phone. But then there are others that maybe the cell phone wouldn't mean that much to them.
All right, so if you've been following Estefania Seifert, she has been unplugged for 9 days.
Yeah, it sounds like, oh.
She got it back. She got it back today. And let me tell you, she is one happier person now. You've been quite a treat all week.
I've been a little cranky with my coworkers, but you really can't blame me, because in giving away this for 9 days, I had to use all of this to kind of make up for what I go through every day, or what I use every day to kind of keep going, starting with an alarm clock, with the time. I realized that I depend way too much on my phone for those things.
So you're going without a phone at work is different from me going without my phone on vacation. How? Because I felt I was disconnected the last 7 days that I was gone, but I used my camera still, and I still posted a little bit. I didn't realize you have, what, card contacts for
yes,
addresses?
I had to use,
the camera,
I had to use
that's
business
huge.
cards.
How'd you take selfies?
Well, with this, you guys remember this?
I have one of those in
It's
a drawer
funny because when
somewhere.
I first turned it on, I saw pictures that I hadn't seen since I want to say 8th grade, maybe going into high school.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's been a while since I've used this, and it was a lot. It was just more work because you take a picture, then you have to connect it to your desktop to upload it, and then log into your social media. Whereas on your phone, it's instant. It's,
On what day did you think this was a bad idea?
on the day that we had breaking news.
Which was what day into it?
I want to say it was day 6.
That's still, oh, you went a long way then. Because a lot
Day
of people, I
6.
think, after day 1 would be like,
Well, I struggled. I carry change now because that was a big. that was
and you found a payphone.
I found a payphone, but a lot of them don't work. So it was. I mean, that was interesting. Going through the payphones and trying to figure out.
Do they still make these?
They do, and it worked. It's actually what saved
Like,
me.
and they're updated? I haven't been sent one of these at my home
updated.
in years.
I actually used it. KTSM is under television.
Okay.
And
Am
that's
I
how
in
I
here?
was
Is
able
that how
to call
you-
the station and let them know that I was downtown.
Wow. Okay, so now a lot of people, though, think about doing something like this because they say sometimes you just kind of want to go off the grid. You want to go off of social media, Snapchat, all that. What was it like being not connected that way?
I feel very disconnected from everybody. As soon as I got my phone back, the first thing I did was check Instagram and Snapchat because I feel a lot of my friends are out of town, and I feel like that's the only way that I can really keep up with them is seeing what they're doing every day. And I do feel that for 9 days, I was completely disconnected, and I had 79 messages that I'm trying to get through. So many things happening in 9 days. So I'm trying to get back into everybody's life again. But it was a nice little break at times. I do feel like I enjoyed moments a little more when I was out eating with friends, when I was out at the ball game. I did enjoy things a little more, so that was nice, and I think I might change my perspective on how I'll use my phone from now on. I will definitely use it 24/7 at work because it was very difficult to work without it, but maybe outside of work, it might be a little different.
So the question is would you do this again?
Surprisingly, I would.
Really?
I would do this again.
For 9 days?
Yes, it was. I think what was stressful was the work aspect of it, not so much the being disconnected. I was still able to use the desktops, which also helped. I could stay connected through Facebook, but I think I would probably do it again. I do feel. You do feel different. You do feel different, and when I got my phone back, I thought at the beginning of this, I said, I can just imagine when I get my phone back, it's going to be this, euphoric moment, and it wasn't. First of all, it was dead, so I had to wait a couple of minutes. But no, it was just kind of like, it was a little stressful, actually, like kind of getting back into the groove of social media, of trying to make up the calls the missed calls I had, the text messages, so I would probably do it again.
We'll give this to you back. Congratulations on
did it.
performing a
Thank you.
feat that most people
Thank you.
wouldn't last a day doing.
All right, Stephanie Safer, thank you so much for giving us a little slice of that life for 9 days.